Dear students of English grammar, we welcome you in our lecture 8 English version lecture, in which we have a series voice from active to passive. And today our topic is complicated structures of interrogative sentence. In previous lectures, students, you came to know how to transform an active voice into passive voice that were based on simple structures and basic structures. And the tenses were present indefinite, past indefinite, and future indefinite. In this lecture 8, tenses will remain the same, but we'll use different structures, unusual structures. In lecture number 7, you came to know how we use the structures of interrogative sentences, which were based on adverbs why, where, when, and how. And today we will learn the interrogative pronoun and interrogative adjectives, and they can be used as subject and object. In this way, we learned that subjects and objects may be in answers and may be in questions. And whenever we use question words in form of subject and object, that seems to be very difficult, and we are going to make it easy for you. And for this, you please have patience and sit here with your pen and paper. Students, in lecture number 5, you came to know about the identification of subjects and objects, and today we are going to revise everything because this is an integrated lectures that you have already gone through. This is M. Rahman and you are attending ORAC classes of English language, and to learn all this with us, please don't forget to subscribe our channel ORAC classes of English language, and if you like our lectures, please don't forget to like and share. Now let's begin how we use interrogative pronouns in place of subject and object. Students, you have already gone through whenever we have he in place of subject, we change it into object by using by. Means by is followed by its objective case, and if you have she, you change it into by her in passive voice. If you have they in active voice, you change it into by them in passive voice. In the same way, if you have a subject who, means whenever you try to find out any subject, you ask who, and whenever you ask who, there is a subject. Now when you don't have any answer, then who will act as a subject, and the object of this form object the form of object of this word who will be by whom. In the same way, what acts like a subject and object both, and it will, if what is working as a subject, it will be changed by what in case of passive voice. In the same way, if you are using interrogative adjective, what is interrogative adjective? When an adjective is used in form of an interrogative word with a noun or pronoun, that is called interrogative adjective. And student, the main thing is that you must come to know is, if subject is connected with the question word, question word becomes a part of subject. If your object is connected with question word, then question word becomes a part of that object, and they work as a whole in a group. In this way, who will be changed by whom in passive voice, which boy in active voice will be changed into by which boy in passive voice. If how many boys are these three words are working as a subject, they will be definitely by how many boys and what by what. We are going to do some practical on these question words. Now let's have a look on this example. Example number 1. Who teaches him these days? Okay, who teaches him these days? Now the main thing is, what is subject and what is object? The word that is working as a doer is subject, and the work that is being done and the person for which work is being done is called object. Who, I mentioned a subject in green color and object in blue color. You see, subject is changed into by into the word of into the form of object with by. Now let's see this example. Him is a object, so object comes in the beginning. Okay, this object is after verb, and this object comes before verb. and you can see verb is teach, then your verb becomes taught, and him will come, this you say this black arrow before verb, and this is he in case of nominative case, I mean in form of subject. And this who is changed by whom. Now I did this by whom. Let's see here, this is a help box, not a proper structure or syntax. Suppose him is an object, it comes in the beginning. He is taught by whom, because we change subject into object with by. Who by whom, who was subject, and I took it after verb in like some other examples. He is taught by whom, but this structure is not right. Why is it not right? It is not right because every time question word is placed in the beginning of the sentence, I mean to say by whom will be written, because it is a question is written in the beginning, and after question word you wrote helping verb and then subject. So there is a helping verb between question word and subject. Okay, you have him is taken before verb, that is he, and before subject and helping verb you use, before subject and question word you use helping verb. In this way your structure is by whom is he taught. Students, in short, I am going to revise it. If you have who, you will turn it into by whom in the beginning of the sentence. And why did I do this? I have explained everything here. Yes, what is short? Who will be changed into by whom. Then according to the object that you have placed before verb, you choose helping verb. He is singular, that's why you use is. By whom is he, and third form of the verb is used always in passive voice, that's why your answer is by whom is he taught. Let's have a look on the new example. Example number 2. Who sang a beautiful song for you? Who is a subject here. A beautiful song is an adjective, a noun phrase, and how do you identify object? After verb you try to identify which is first noun or pronoun. Then I found song is the noun, and all the words related to song will work as an object. In this way I have a beautiful song, a phrase, that is object. I will change who into by whom. After by whom we write passive voice helping verb and then object. In passive voice we use in nominative case, means if you have him you write in form of he, that is called nominative case, means the form of subject. Then you use third form of the verb and rest part of the sentence and then question mark. Now let's change this structure into this question interrogative sentence. Who is changed by whom. A beautiful song will be written by sung third form, and was will be used for this a beautiful song as a singular noun, and then third form sung, and then for you. Okay, in this way we came to know the passive voice of who sang a beautiful song for you will be passive voice like this. By whom was a beautiful song sung for you, means who is changed into by whom, and between a question word and between a subject you use helping verb. By whom was a beautiful song sung for you. Now students, let's see when we see such type of examples, though the examples based on who are very important, because these examples doesn't occur not only in academics but also in competitive exams. And in the same way we use some other question words as well. Just have a look at what will hurt me in future. Who is changed into by whom, just as he is changed into by him. But student, there is a pronoun you remains the same, and you is changed into by you. In the same way, what is changed by what, means there is no change in the form of what is subject. Subject is a word that is used before helping verb. Then in this way the word what used here in green color is your subject. What will hurt me in future means by what? Me, that is written in this blue color, is object and it will come before verb. In this way, we will use helping verb according to the new formed subject I, shall, because will was used because of what and shall is used because of I. So our structure is by what shall I be hurt in future. The form of hurt is hurt, 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 first, second and third forms. Now we learned that what is a subject, so I wrote by, and it is a question word, that's why I wrote in the beginning. And after question word, if what is a question word, definitely we use helping verb between question word and subject, and then be or any required part of a particle of a helping verb, and then third form, and the next rest part of the sentence, and then question mark. Now let's have a look on these new series of examples, and these examples are based on question words that creates question word that create question in more than one words. Like in our previous examples, our question words were who, what, but now the words that are creating questions are more than one, so we can say it a phrase. Now how many boys follow the teachers? Boys is a the word boys is a subject, and this subject is connected with question words, and the question word is how many boys. How many boys will work as a subject. If your subject is connected to the question, it works as a subject. If your question word is connected to the object, it works as an object. In this way, boys is connected, boys, the word boys is a subject and it is connected with the question word, that's why it will be called subject. Then because how many boys are is used as a subject, so we will use by how many boys, in the same way as you used to with who. How many boys, what's the object? The teachers is placed before followed before third form. So, and you know, helping verb is used between a question word and between subject that used to be an object. Okay, by how many boys are the teachers followed? This is the answer of your active voice into passive voice. Now I have some next example. In this example, what will you choose? In your previous example, I have used what in case of subject. What will hurt me in future? Between helping verb, between verb and what, there is no other noun or pronoun. If you don't have any other noun or pronoun here, what is subject? But if you have other noun or pronoun between main verb and what, just like you, then what is object? If you try to find out the sense and you ask what will you choose? If you ask whom, the answer will be what. In this way, what is object? Generally, when we change an active voice into passive voice, we put object in place of subject. Okay, now what is object here and what is subject? I have mentioned subject in green color and object in blue color. Now object is used after verb, but there is no object. In other words, object is what, and you have already written object what in the beginning. In this way, you will be in the end of the sentence by you. Okay, choose will be chosen, you by you. So chosen, then chosen by you. In the same way, if you have used what in the beginning, here you can see what object will be chosen by you, because there is no other word to be used between question word and helping verb. In short, you can understand like this: if your question word is acting as an object, it will remain on its own place, and you used to bring object in the beginning. And if you find your object already written in the beginning, you need not write any word, but you will do that. You will take your subject that is written before verb in the end in form of by you. So your structure will be what will be chosen by you. Okay, now let's see the next example. How much sugar does he need? He is a subject, and the object of the sentence is sugar, but sugar is connected with how much. In this way, how much will also act as a question word uh, 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 and object both. Okay, in this way, how much sugar will act as an integrated form object. Now fortunately, the object that should be after need is written in the beginning, so you need not bring any object in the beginning because you have already written here how much sugar. Your subject is he, and he will go after the sentence, after the end of the sentence, by him. So sugar is singular, tense is present indefinite, you will use is needed. Now the answer is how much sugar is needed by him. Yes, what? How much sugar is needed by him, because how much sugar is already object, and whenever you have already object written in the beginning, you doesn't bring any object from after verb, and you use uh, the rest of the formalities as it is. Now in example number 7, whom do they appoint team leader? In this example, the main important thing is uh, students are confused in selecting team leader as an object. No, it's wrong. Team leader isn't an object. Object is whom, subject is they, and the team leader is a complement. What is complement? Complement is a word or phrase that completes the sense of a subject, object, or a sentence. Okay, appoint what? Team leader. In this way, team leader fulfills the sentence sense of the sentence. So team leader should not be taken, should not be chosen as a object. Our object is whom. And now students, so far as whom is concerned, I would like to let you know a few things. He is changed into him, she is changed into her, and her is changed into she, him is changed into he. Because if you are taking him at the place of object and you are placing it on the place of subject, you write he. In the same way, you choose your object whom here, and this will be changed into who, as you can see here. He into him and him into he. In the same way, who into whom and whom into who. Now let's apply here. Whom do they appoint? Then they is a subject and it will be written in the end by them. Now whom will be changed into who, and who is changed into by whom. Then who is appointed team leader by them. Whom is an object. Whom is an object, and it is changed in the nominative case who, and it has become a subject, and then after subject you use helping verb, third form, rest part of the sentence, and the subject of active voice in form of by them. Okay, now your answer is who is appointed team leader by them. Now I have the last example of this series, and this example is based on two different uh, objects. Before we do this, let's understand what are these two different objects. Students, whom did the principal reveal the responsibility? Object 1 whom, object 2 the responsibility. Now the living object is called indirect object, and non-living object is called direct object. Direct and indirect I will discuss later, so that you may not be confused. Now I take it as living and non-living thing. Whom is a living object, and the responsibility is a non-living object. Okay, let's take according to the object number 1, as you have done in example number 7. Whom is changed into who. Okay, and the subject is the principal, and principal will be will be used in the end of the sentence by using by, means by will be followed by the principal. In this way, our answer is who is changed into whom. Who was, third form of reveal, revealed. Who was revealed, because principal will go in the end. Who was revealed, and the responsibility, the second object will remain as it is as the rest part of the sentence. Who was revealed this responsibility by the principal. Now in answer number 2, let's have another type of structure. Whenever we have two objects, living and non-living. If we use non-living, we don't touch the living. If we use living, we don't touch non-living. And if we use non-living, we don't touch living. In short, if you are not getting it clearly, suppose I have you already used home. Now I do not want to use a home as an object. I just want to use the responsibility as an object. You are using the responsibility as object, so you will take this responsibility before verb. You will use this responsibility before verb, so whom will remain as it is. I mean to say, if you have two objects and you are not treating whom as an object, whom will work as a question word and will remain the same. And the responsibility is a direct object and it will come in place of the principal subject. Then your sentence will be, whom was this responsibility revealed by the teacher. Okay, whom object worked as a question word, so I left it as it is. But when whom was acting as an object, I changed into who, and the responsibility was left as it is. In this way, you came to know the object that you are taking will work as an object and the second object will remain the same. Students, I hope this lecture will prove to be very useful for you, and not only in academics, it will be very useful up to your competitive exams. So please listen this video again and again till you get yourself prepared for this. And to keep all the lectures on your screen, please don't forget to subscribe our channel, your own channel, ORSE Classes of English Language, and to observe and learn and watch the whole series of our all the lectures. Please don't forget to subscribe our channel, ORSE Classes of English Language. And if you like our lectures, please don't forget to share and like. Thanks for being with us. Keep on watching ORSE Classes of English Language, and thanks a lot for you for all this. Thanks a lot.